Okay, well, I accidentally opened up paint, but that's not going to be involved today, probably. At least not for anything I can immediately think of. But I have additional Loraxing to do, and I went through and I realized some things, and then I went on the wiki and I had some other things realized, and so that kind of changes things. So I've been doing this, I did transpose this, so I did have like strength in whiz chat at the top, now I have it on the side, and then I have all the other relevant stuff up there. So this is hopefully a little bit better formatted, even though I constantly make the same mistake and have like the axes switched from what I want. But in any case, it's now the way I currently want it for this sheet. So, you know, baby steps and all. In any case, the current build with the Lorax, which was what I'm, you know, doing the current run through of, I realized that I had been kind of neglectful with my consideration for companions to do the run with, because as far as like what the tree hugger characters are, the non-origin companions are kind of the best, because these three are essentially perfectly doing that role to begin with. Now, sans mods, it's a little difficult to actually get them, since their involvement spans all three acts and you can't choose to start as them. But for the sake of this run, I figured, you know what, if we're really just trying to be tree huggers, then don't really get better than Message here in Minsk. So I think I'll eventually replace the Goofy Gang with them. So that leaves sort of this setup. And I don't really need you guys clapping, thank you. And so looking at like what the progression of that would be for what I have currently, I of course have Astarion as the int character, because they're the other high half health that isn't a hireling and thus doesn't constantly say dirge lines when they're not dirge. And then we kind of got to look at reshuffling the strength and charisma again. So as far as the quote-unquote like end goal for it, with the, you know, those characters, with Minsk, Jahir, and Helson, I did a super shitty mock-up of the builds transposed, because I didn't have the forethought to just use my section, which is literally designed for companion characters, despite them already being listed here. But in any case, this is sort of a specific, fairly minor thing, since the gear for it is, you know, pretty straightforward and already decided. So this is also not really going to be, because I'm kind of shoehorning them into the roles that work with my character being a whiz character, since all three of them, as two druids and a ranger, also really like wisdom. This is probably not going to be the general way that I try and build them. I imagine at most I'd maybe have one of them in a campaign, but in any case, I haven't really done anything with the three of them for my main campaign. And since my main campaign is like my, you know, first basic bitch good guy playthrough, I'm already doing like a redemption run through them. So while I don't have the option of Minthara, because she wasn't recruitable via regular means when I started that run, like as a Lorax, I'm already kind of doing a redemption dirge, and Lae'zel, Shadowheart, and Astarion, which are the big three kind of like redemption characters, at least as far as the origins are concerned, for they're arguably Gale more than Lae'zel, but in any case, for my main playthrough, are already kind of involved with it, and like I'm just swapping out companions. It's my first playthrough, so I did, you know, all the quests, changing out the people for the relevant things as they came up. So I don't feel like I need to necessarily do a dedicated redemption run, because by the time I finish that other save, I will have already done all of the redeeming possible, possibly due to the use of some save scumming, as far as it came to Shadowheart and Act 2, at the very least, and possibly more later on, since I don't know what all of them have in store. But doing this run kind of seemed redundant, and so then when I look at this run, it's like, well, like, if I'm going to be running those tree huggers, of course, again, I'm waiting a minimum of until Act 2, but, like, I can just continue using the characters I have in the meantime for the roles that I, see them in. And so, for actually splitting them up, like, Minsk was a barbarian-esque character to begin with, really high strength, so it just kind of makes sense to have him be the Wild Heart Barbarian, and, like, these roles are, the class roles are pretty much fixed at this point, too, for what I feel like is most relevant. So the easiest way that I found out about this after the fact is I just went onto the wiki and I said speech with animals, and then I saw which classes got granted those. So for instance, like, Bard also has it as a spell available, but I don't feel like Bards are particularly animal or nature focused in general, whereas the Conjuration Wizard is sort of a weak fit for it, and like it and the Bard are arguably much more like summon based, like elementals for instance, than this. So I figured that these 4/5 due to me multi-classing with the Cleric and Druid would work sort of best. Ancients, Paladin, Beastmaster, Ranger pretty straightforward, and of course because I'm running the int version of the Beastmaster, we're not using any combat spells, just buffs like the Hunter's Mark or Fog Cloud. And so between Jaheira, Halsin, and Minsk makes the most sense to be the strength character. Additionally, Boo does have falling damage immunity or throwing damage immunity, something like that. So being able to have the barbarian with the high strength also chuck him as the summoner of him makes sense. Having Jaheira be a ranger, I think, fits her persona pretty well as Halsin isn't necessarily paladin-y and does have the wood elf additional movement speed that benefits int, but like most of these guys are spec'd into wisdom that isn't relevant when they're not a wisdom character. So for instance, this is again a super shitty mock-up of the different skill proficiencies they have. So Minsk as a folk hero has animal handling and survival, so 2 there, and then he has persuasion supposedly because all NPC humans have that selected as their extra skill proficiency for the class bonus as far as I know. Then additionally he has the carrying capacity bonus, which again works pretty well with strength. When you're looking at making a Wild Heart Barbarian, the relevant proficiencies that I could get with them are pretty limited since they only have a few, and he already has 2 of them, and then one of them is nature, which is an int stat, so I can just get strength, athletics, and charisma, intimidation, and that way it's, I mean, again, not perfect, but since as a barbarian you only have 1 proficiency there that really matters, and for the most part not having acrobatics as high shouldn't be as important, and I don't really have the option of getting it otherwise with any of these 3 companions. So that kind of lines up. And then Jaheira is a high half-elf, so she has a wizard cantrip, which also kind of lines up. And then as a ranger, with the soldier, which I didn't write here, but who has the soldier background, has athletics and intimidation. So again, neither are particularly relevant, but I can't, like, none of these have int skill proficiencies to begin with, so at least she has a int scaling wizard cantrip. So a little bit more utility out of it than I would otherwise. And then for Halsin, for charisma, for as an Ancient's Paladin, having a charisma and then having a strength is decent. Again, would generally prefer acrobatics for the non-strength characters, but none of these 3 can choose that. Neither of these 2 can choose that, because again, Paladin just straight up doesn't have the option to get any of the dex abilities. And yeah, no, it looks like Ranger can't get it either, but at least we're starting with Rogue for the multi-class. So I can have her start with Rogue, pick up acrobatics, sleight of hand, whatever, and then go to Ranger. And that'll work the same as how I have with Astarion, because his background charlatan is just sleight of hand and deception, which are only partially relevant to the exact same situation anyway. And with Halsin, I can pick up the persuasion and intimidation bonuses from as a specking into paladin. And then if I really needed like performance and deception, I could get the actor feat. Otherwise, I feel like I'm probably going to continue just using the other player character, since having expertise in persuasion is kind of a big deal for all the trades. And additionally, because of the like huge price disparity between like a multiplier of 3 and a multiplier of 4, I think I might end up dropping that back down to get the gold back that I would have otherwise have still had after trading with Brem, because like my goal was to make it a little bit more difficult to get gold, since there's like so few options with it in this difficulty in order to get all of the items without going like pickpocketing or whatever. But the thing is, because this is a druid redemption Durge Lorax thing, I don't really have the reason to metagame and go and kill other traders I normally would, like I said, Brem in the Gent, or Esther, or whatever her name is in the Rosamorn pass. So I'm already quote-unquote losing out on money there. And then additionally, this has been such a big difference that it sways it from being able to afford everything with ease, because I'm also metagaming and stealing everybody's inventory, to not even being able to afford the gear I need for my characters for the current point in the game. Never mind the additional gear I like picking up just to, have if I decide to change builds out with them. So for instance, a good example being the fact that I'm now not looking to keep Kurz, which is the only half-orc character we have as a companion to begin with, indefinitely as my Wildheart Barbarian, means that I don't really have a reason to continue doing a crit Barbarian build. So that's going to change out the gear that I bring and focus on him entirely. And then while I feel like this is fairly set as far as the classes I want, and thus the builds and the gear I'm looking forward to with the specific characters, it's also still subject to change based off of me coming across any new realizations or things like feats, for instance, which I already re-rolled on Kurz, etc. So to that end too, I was also looking at like the redundancy of needing to switch characters multiple times, because the reality is if I plan on keeping Karlach for as long as I can, and I do because I didn't use her a whole lot in the regular mission or in my first playthrough, and she has so many bonuses towards strength anyway, and I aren't looking at doing a crit barbarian build with half-orc going forward. I don't really need to have a crit half-orc at all, which is to say that I can just skip this third set from Kurz and Karlach to Karlach and Minthara. Obviously I don't have Minthara, and I still won't for a very long while, but I can always just replace them in the meantime with my other player character, which is a charisma character to begin with, has some proficiencies with the nature of having an entertainer background for acrobatics and charisma, which is obviously extremely relevant. And then, not necessarily most importantly, but as an added bonus, also has instrument proficiency, but will lose that as I respec them from a bard into a paladin, but I'll still maintain my music playing character, which now in hindsight, knowing that okay, well now I'm going to swap and I'm actually going to get the tree huggers in Act 2 and 3, I probably should have taught it to my main character, who I'm guaranteed to always bring around with me, but be how it do, and that's not the way she went. And I will have to see about getting the persuasion expertise again, just for the sake of trading, but that is effectively just a 1 level dip in rogue. So for the expertise of the multi-class, which I don't actually have written here, but it's the same nonetheless. They have the expertise function, and then so does bard, but I'm not going to take them up to I'm not going to do a level 3 bard before I start going into paladin, especially since they're only level 5 right now. That would give me fairly limited non-spell casting functionality, and this is explicitly supposed to be a CQC buff slash tank character. So on the plus side, the character that I do have built, which is a halfling, will kind of play well into the paladin role as well, since they still have the rerolls on ones. That'll be useful for the saves that they'll theoretically be tanking, as well as the attacks they should hypothetically be putting out, though maybe not super frequently. So to that end, my plan for today and going forward is to do yet again another respec. Turn Karlach into Barbarian, which will also have the additional functionality of letting me actually use the soul coins. Not that I super want to due to the limited nature of them, but at least that's an option again. And then replacing Kurz, who has the nasty habit as a hireling of doing all these Durge lines despite not being Durge, with the other player character, which shouldn't have those issues, or failing that, because I don't even recall if they're a Strongheart halfling, but if they are a Strongheart halfling, I can go with them, and otherwise, like, I literally always have the option of the Lightfoot halfling, which is already entertaining, like almost an identical character anyway, which again, in hindsight, probably would have been better to do something more exciting that isn't already doubled up with the hirelings, but alas, it be how it do. Then I'll have, that option for the party. But of course, she also will probably do Durge lines, whereas I hope the second PC doesn't, because at least they didn't have the same cutscenes when we were doing split screen, so I am hoping it's different, but we'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. Question why somebody's down there by themselves. Alright, to go grab the, because I said I was going to loot the Festering Cove the next day. Unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to de-summon Scratch again. But, that's the way she do be. But again, at least, I'm super restrictive, frugal, you can say, with resting to begin with. So, like, while I am technically kind of cheating the game by getting these extra spell slots rehashed and whatnot on them, I feel like I'm also, like, not abusing them either, per se, because I'm going out of my way to try not to abuse them. Because I'm already treating them like a much more limited resource than they really are, especially when you have however many fucking, enough to do 20 consecutive full rests. So, start with, we will take them to camp as well. But I'll call if Glut gets angry as a result of me being in camp. Yeah, okay, so hopefully it's not an issue with me just re-recruiting
Time
him.
to press ahead.
So maybe
seems like a good moment to talk.
They're assuming that you're in camp to rest, so I can maybe just re-recruit him here right now.
It is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we're good. Okay. So we will go... for one, we'll get Kurz's gear. And Cry, since, of course, you can't access the bodies in the wardrobe. We'll have to figure out what we're doing weapon-wise for them. I forgot about that function. Additionally, cry about all the sorting you gotta do for this. How you can't just, like, drag and drop, because when you mass select, they deposit them one at a time from left to right, top to bottom, rather than maintaining the current spacing of them. Which isn't technically wrong per se, certainly makes it easier to transfer things in order to sell them, but super annoying for what I'm currently trying to do.
No one stopped me yet.
And on the plus side, like, my main character on the other profile is literally already a half-orc barbarian, because again, I made them without realizing Kurz was an option.
This vessel is at, art thou certain, a single mortal?
Should be. I guess I didn't have to leave him naked, but whatever. If I need him again, he'll be naked, and then I can
step
correct it
forward.
then. And if not, then he's in the feud plane and not a concern at all. Can I find Wither's wardrobe? And I guess probably over by Wither's, isn't it? Oh, there it is.
What's
What
in
a weird
here?
spot for it. Well, I guess it was an after. Consider I would have put it right here, rather than this weird corner, but whatever. Bloop. And then Bartholomew is also getting a bit of respect, I suppose. Let's see, they are a Strongheart halfling. Ah, so it works even better for being a paladin in the meantime. How exciting. So we're gonna have to spec them into the paladin we already have, alongside the question of do I care for the single level dip in rogue. And I mean, I kind of do. Persuasion is kind of a big deal for a charisma character, especially, even though they won't be the face of the party because hashtag Durge playthrough things. But I don't think that'll hurt. Let's see, ability wise, paladins have wisdom and charisma saves, actually the same as the warlock and the cleric, which we're already looking at, whereas the rogue has the dex and int proficiency, which is arguably quite a bit better for what I'm looking to with them to begin with. Also has additional proficiencies, since I can just multi-class into paladin and get... No, never mind, they don't have any additional proficiencies that way, but as a rogue, they should still have, yeah, athletics, acrobatics, and then the charisma proficiencies. I mean, heck, I could even do bard, but that wouldn't give me the expertise until level 3, I don't think. And in the case I said, we already have a
Wretched thing, pull
bard, as well
yourself
as a bard
together.
hireling. Or sorry, we already have somebody with musical proficiency, as well as the option of a bard hireling. So let's try doing it this way.
Fate.
Dost thou require a new ally?
Well, I guess...
Oh.
Yeah, that would have been the... Yeah, we're already level 4, so that would have been the specialization. Yeah. Right.
Dost thou require a...
Let's take a gander. And again, hope this doesn't break anything. I have them have Durge voice lines. Let's see, yeah, so we wouldn't really need to worry about that. So we could either start them as a paladin for that whiz and cha bonus, save proficiency, although we lose the additional proficiencies and skill, so I guess it's a question of how important do I think these are. I guess the answer is really just like, I mean, I literally get more proficiencies by starting as a rogue, because I'll have the ability to get these two and athletics and deception. Kind of makes it hard to say no to that, doesn't it? Well, sorry, technically I don't even care about athletics because it's not a strength build, contrary to what the default spread has. So if we go with rogue and then multi-class, I'm pretty sure we still get all of the proficiencies, but we also get, yeah, all this stuff. So we don't need to have sleight of hand proficiency because our actual rogue character already has that. And we can't get all three in both of these, so sleight of hand is really only for that. So I suppose if we're to have either of them, well, we could also just take the athletics for the lol for the sake of pushing people easier, even though this is better for resist being shoved. So let me shove a little bit easier, which is still sometimes useful for the sake of positioning as a frontline character. So we can do that, and then we can get our expertise there. And then, again, I don't know that I'm going to really be using them as a face character other than for trade. So I think, honestly, if we're trying to make up for athletics and acrobatics, we could just make one of these expertise as well. So kind of a question of if I want to increase my shoving or increase my shoving resistance and, you know, not falling prone on the ground. And technically, once I get Minthara's boots, I don't need to worry about that, since as long as you're concentrating, you're immune to being prone. Which thus also is something that breaks your concentration. But for the time being, I'll keep it like this, I think, since that's also a bit more intuitive. Then if need be, I can go back and respec to athletics instead if I need to. And then we do our normal silly and yet very much always working strategy of dumping 3 stats at a given time, even though literally nobody recommends doing that. And hopefully we don't have the same issue with like cleric druid thing where you have complications with the multi-class for options and dialogue. But I also couldn't say whether or not that was actually the case, or there was just certain conversations that were only cleric and only druid anyway, and I just seen both. But I haven't seen both of them as options in the same response, which leads me to believe one might be being prioritized over the other, though I'm not sure. But in any case, this having this bard kind of worked out, even though I was just doing it to throw up a middle finger at the game on the neighborhood. So I'm glad that that's the case. Prepare spell 0. What? You're a charisma caster. I have charisma. I'm assuming they're just being goobers right now and not dealing with the multi-class and multi-class leveling very well. That's fine. I'm sure once I back out of here it'll be corrected. So protection isn't really super good, but again, it fits. So, because we already have dummy thick AC and extra damages in the... Oh, there we go. Yeah, it fixed as soon as I selected that. The style, which was funny. Well, at least we're still prepared casters, so we can go and do this. It looks like it already sort of selected all the ones that I wanted anyway, though. So that works. And then just drag all the gear over and cry over my stubby legs. And forget what I even selected for the other character. I want to say it was maybe Shield Master. But in any case, this should look pretty similar. And then we had, what did we select for you? Well, that's a level 5 action, not quite relevant yet. Those are personal ones. What? Did we just... Oh, we totally did just ASI you. I'm not opposed to it. Especially because, again, we already have... Always click on the wrong one for skills. We already have skill, persuasion, expertise. Because that one level rogue dip is way too good. But, I think we'll fuck with that again, honestly. But of course, we bring all the gear over. We should still have full proficiency from the multi-class and a paladin. No heavy armor. Interesting. That's right, we don't really use that though, so... I might complicate things Act 2-esque, but by then we'll have Halsin, and then we can shove Karlach. Or no, Halsin will take this role because she's going to be in the third, so she's going to be the strength, she's going to be the charisma, and then we're going to replace her with Halsin, and then reassess at that point if we want to change any of this stuff around. Because it shouldn't be an issue in the near future. Let's see, probably just, yeah, it doesn't have heavy armor proficiency when you multi-class, but it does normally. Interesting. But again, not really a huge issue. I don't think that's going to make or break the build. But Again, if it does, then I'll just go back and I'll take off the rogue level, whatever. Doesn't really hurt me any, but the extra persuasion is kind of a big deal. So. Oh, sorry, that's not relevant too. Then with the torch, which we actually put over here because Karlach already has one. And the rest of this stuff will go here. And then Scratch will be Sag, but we have to respec him anyway. And we're gonna have to move all this stuff around. Oh, that's right. Well, if I log, or if I dismiss her, it should transfer over anyway. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see, the gear we should just 1-to-1 it, which means that in theory all this stuff would have gone on quote-unquote curs, but obviously that's not the case. And she doesn't have a cape, so we can keep that. We'll take the armor, because it's not a heavy armor. We can keep the gloves. So the boots, because they're the same already. And she still has her flute, even though she doesn't have proficiency anymore. Kind of a shame too, because you can't even, I thought you could, but I found out that you can't even roll for a chance to have a successful performance as a non-proficient person. It's just always forced to be a poor performance, and like, I get it. Would have been a lot cooler if that wasn't the case though. So that should be that, and then we'll give her this stuff, which won't even synergize very well for the time being, but whatever. Now, of course, we're going to have to redo her build anyway, since, like I said, we're not going to go for a crit route, but just move everything so everything's where it should be, and then we'll sort out the rest of the details. Even though she's going to be over encumbered a little bit in the meantime. Encumbered a lot in the meantime. Yeah, there's no way that's light enough, right? Yeah. Well, unless it lets me place it and then just not add more stuff after. No. Okay, that's fair. So we'll just toss them back here. And then we'll do our ASI. Then we'll match all of this stuff. So that should be okay. And then they'll be slightly different since some of these are from the level 5, but the... Oh, I didn't realize they changed the order. I thought these were always in the same order, but I guess not. That's kind of filthy. I don't like that at all. Okay, well, whatever is what it is. So we have... Let's see... 1 extra spell slot, so we just won't take aid. But we will take... Command Thunderous... Compelled not cure wounds. Take that, take that. Take protection from good and evil. How do we also take... Oh, because I don't have Divine Favor. There we go. I guess it would have been easy to just see which ones I don't have. Whatever. And then the additional actions, which aren't super relevant, but I mean, whatever. I'll take the extra 1d6 damage since it's a finesse weapon anyway, so why not? And I think for these should have been... Yeah, we in fact have less due to the racial bonuses of them. Although I don't... Funny, it still says they have gargantuan cleave. Oh no, never mind. That's because I just dragged the weapon back over. That makes sense. Okay, so then for organizing this, we have our short rest, short rest, short rest. Don't need the basic attack. We'll take the melee and then put the archery stuff after, which got scrambled with that as well.
How many
Damn
die
it.
tomorrow?
She still does say those voice lines. Well, still, I think like, if I'm going to have it on anyone anywhere, might as well not have it on literally the same voice actor between the Lorax and Chris. So, let's see, that's on per turn. Technically, we can shove all this stuff out then. And then, still not sure how I want to do things. I want to kind of try and keep the per turn and then the short rest and the short rest non-weapon actions together. But you get so many with the channel oath things as well. So that is a persistent one. This is your channel oath. This is a short rest as well. These are spell. Third channel oath. Then long rest. And then we have all these spells which will organize for damage attacks. And then defensive. And then debuff. That should look pretty much identical.
Watch your back.
Yeah, I moved a couple around. Whatever. Literally just one around.
Come on, let's go.
That should be good. And those are the racial actions. So hers would look like that.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.
Don't burn yourself.
Don't
be shy.
Should
All right.
be okay.
What now?
Making me
Kind of
sweat.
crazy how that one level difference
Soldier.
gives 3 more spell
Mind
slots.
never quiet.
No time to rest?
Don't know if that's quite worth losing the, absolutely delicious plus 10 we have on persuasion though. Kind of hard to say no to that. Man, why do these have 3 stars? Why? Still the highest value. Because you have your... I don't know if it breaks down if I hover over it. Guess not. Maybe if I do an actual roll. But it's proficiency, which is 4. And then expertise... it's 3. From being level 5. And then expertise doubles that to 6. And then we get plus 4 from the 4 charisma. So it's kind of weird to me that it's showing more stars for these, yet they're actually lower values. So that might just be a UI issue again. Because this makes sense. It has the proficiency. Oh, are these all supposed to be proficiencies? Because this is interesting. 3 stars is lower than 2 stars. Because that's funky. I was thinking 1 star is proficiency, and then the other 2 were supposed to be expertise on top, so 3 stars is supposed to be expertise. But I think they fucked it up a little bit and accidentally reversed it. Might also just be all this multi-class stuff I'm doing, because all these are proficiencies in the single star, which makes sense. And this is expertise for double stars, which makes sense. But this is treating the... Yeah, so even at most, this is correct. But then that should be 2 stars, and then these should be 1 stars. As well, I think. Oh, fuck, I don't know. Unless they're like, oh man, your charisma's so high, we're going to give you another star for it, in which case it's still backwards, but whatever, she works. Okay, so that is that more or less done, I think. As long as we're not worried about wizard chaw saves or the heavy armor, which shouldn't be an issue in the immediately foreseeable future, nor the extra attack, because they're not a damage dealer. since they're supposed to be defending. So their build should be okay. Her build, gotta figure out something that's not. I mean, we're still going to use strength, we're still going to be concerned about opportunity attacks. Throwing is fairly irrelevant at this stage, but who else is going to get the ring? And I'm gonna have to remember that vulnerability part. Tend to forget about it. Also means the boulette probably would have hurt a lot more if I didn't have those monstrosities to distract it, but hey, that's like literally the entire point of them designing it that way. And I guess we could also do that and get proficiency anyway, but I like the idea of the con and the, you know, the paladin bonuses. So should be okay. Should be okay for her. So now we just gotta figure out what to do for ya. It's gonna be still a wild heart barbarian, but not a crit one. So let's think. So we probably don't need a great axe, because we'd prefer the consistency of 2d6s instead. And we probably don't need, because beforehand the plan was run Tiger, which had multi-hits, better crit fishing, and then Forced Bleed, which gives Maim, as well as higher attack chances. But now we can go for, I mean, this is, Bear is just tanking, so we don't care about that because we're not trying to be a tank barbarian. I mean, I guess to be fair, we could make our paladin a crit paladin, and then make this a tank barbarian. But Karlach also has a soul coin function, and when I get Minthara, it'll be soul branding as well, so I feel like I may as well just go for damage. So going for damage, yeah, the Tavern Brawler, that's a good point. Could go for that, though. Yeah, well, this is team buff. I mean, multi-hitting is still not a bad idea, as well as the debuffing, better attack chance, which means more likely to succeed with Great Weapon Master turned on, even though we didn't already have that at this level. But we could go for Elk. No, I feel like just having our ranger use a boar would be better for knockdown. Then we can already force advantage with reckless attack, so proning them for that doesn't seem like it'll make much of a difference. We aren't planning on using Tavern Brawler. We do want to do Wild Heart, so we wouldn't want to do a Berserker Barbarian anyway. But I also don't really want to do unarmed attacks. Let's see. So Raging, Con, Reckless. We don't get the boosted throws. I guess it's more throws, more attacks rather than boosted, isn't it? Yeah, and improvised melee, which I believe also benefits from Tavern Brawler. Yeah, so if we're not focused on throwing stuff, Tavern Brawler is less useful. And we're not really gonna do unarmed fighting. Because throwing would be better for Berserker, and so would unarmed and improvised weapon due to those bonus actions. So then we're gonna get our extra crit anyway when we get high enough, likewise with the extra death cheat, even though half orcs get it just for existing and they stack with these. It's just disgusting. So I guess what's a good damage wild heart build? Like, this is prone anyway, isn't it? I don't think it's that much different than Elkhart. Same functionality of proning them, isn't it? Dash as a bonus action is a nice additional functionality. This is, yeah, movement speed, which is, I mean, not terrible, but whatever. The foes have disadvantage is also nice for repositioning. Yeah, the rest of the limitations are the same. So for the actual attacks, options are jumping down on them, proning them for 2 turns, or rushing through them, proning them for 2 turns. Let's see, so no fall damage. Normal weapon damage. This is less damage, but for more people. 1d4 plus strength, as opposed to regular damage. And this is an attack roll. This is a attack roll with strength save, where the prone here seems to be forced. So I suppose for single target, looks like that might be better. On top of being able to bait the disadvantage and bait opportunity attacks, which is decent. Because with the Tiger Heart, it's jump, which is whatever. The big benefit of it is the Tiger's Bloodlust, which is still a multi-hit. But if we're not crit fishing, multiple hits doesn't really matter as much. And it's also dangerous to, of course, be close to people, never mind actively trying to get multiple of them together next to each other. So yeah, maybe we'll just be people's elbowing them. Unless there's anything else I can think of that would significantly change the play. I mean, this kind of a debuff. Movement speed, whatever. There's utility. I mean, it might take Honey Badger just for the extra damage potential of getting enraged whenever. Could also take that for a little bit more defense, but like, not too concerned about that. This isn't really going to be as relevant. That's utility, and then Maim, I think, is literally, yeah, not going to accomplish much either. Yeah, because I think this is... Yeah, because I think this was for the, like, same reason they got rid of turret syndrome in, whatever the other game was. Just for respect for otherwise enabled people, as it were. And I really don't care about Maiming, but hey, once we get a high enough level, we'll have a second option anyway. So it's either, you know, deal with a bleed and poisoning, which I can just do poisoning whenever with my blessing, or do you want more health? Or do you want to maim? I suppose, funny enough, if you use the elk charger multiple times in a turn, you could prone them and maim them, preventing them from standing up to get rid of the prone, essentially burning their turns. And then I believe Primal Stampede is considered a weapon action, making extra attack proc. Maybe not. It doesn't specify, which seems to indicate that that's not the case, but... Oh, wait a minute. What? Unarmed accuracy, but unarmed damage. Do I have that? Okay, let's see. Unarmed. What is a good note to make? Yeah. If this counted as a dash for whatever reason and procced some of those, that would be cool. But I do not believe that that is the case, so not too concerned about that. So we can give that a go, yeah. How exciting. Alright, where's your boy with these?
Yeah.
Oh, you're also very slow. This should be okay. Going to definitely try it out. Okay, I was hungry again. Yeah, I understand.
Dost thou require as the
Another class change for Karlach, but probably her last one, which is back to her original class. And then until she gets replaced by Minsk, which isn't until Act 3. So she'll be sticking around a while. So Barbarian, Strength, yes, Dex, yes, Wisdom, no, which I know. And then I want the Dex bonus because of the initiative. Since these are equivalent for AC, but this is better for medium as well. Medium armor, rather, without the perk. And then none of these matter. Other than the 3 we don't have access to. So... that's rough. You have so few options to begin with as a barbarian, and then... I mean, it should be okay. Entire hope of this is that we're not taking hella thick attacks anyway. We need to get those disintegrating Nightwalkers at some point, so we aren't at risk to ice and stuff. Should be okay. I mean, like, none of these really come up for Karlach, I don't think. Or I guess we leave it on Intimidation, because that seems much more Karlach-y. It should be fine. No, especially because we still have Thaumaturgy, even though it's not super relevant. Let's see, Barbarian. I mean, unless I want a multi-class for a Wildheart Barbarian. I don't even know what I'm multi-class for. What are we saying? We're saying Eagle, and then... I said Honey Badger. I have a few more of these to figure out, I guess. What else would I do for... I mean, like, I could do another class again, just for the save proficiencies. Since I don't know that strength ever really comes up. Other than when it's higher than the acrobatics for shoving, or rather being shoved, I guess. Con saves. I don't really know there's anything else here that would really matter. Honestly, maybe strength and dex. But strength and con is honestly good enough. Then for proficiencies, like, we could have those other ones, but again, barbarian really doesn't care. Biggest concern would just be like slipping on ice and stuff. And then for other class functionality, I mean, Bard doesn't really do anything for us, Cleric doesn't really do anything for us, Druid doesn't, Fighter kinda does, the action surge stuff, Battlemaster especially. From an action economy standpoint, maybe a level 3 rogue, but yeah, I don't know. I think we'll just stick with them being barbarian for now until I can think of anything more clever. I don't think I've done a whole lot of barbarian wild heart build theory crafting before. Yeah, there's the death cheating one, but that's specifically half work. There's the tanking one. There's the crit one and crit one by any other name. I think I need to combine these two. Yeah, tiger, honey badger, tiger, tiger, tiger. And this one also had the hunter's mark as a result of the paladin multi-class. Whereas this one didn't, so I think I'll have to merge those two builds. And then we have, yeah, the asserting dominance by just fucking dashing everywhere and maiming them all. And then throw build. So I have to throw, I'll have to rearrange these somewhat, but it doesn't really seem like I have any other recommendations for a wild heart. That would do well, at least like as far as like, you know, for the extra dash movement. For the leaping, not really a whole lot of other classes that synergize. I mean, like I said, maybe monk or rogue for the bonus action functionality. Because if I choose fighter, then, like, I mean, yeah, they're good at dealing damage, but they are, I mean, having an extra action sort of negates the entire benefit of having dash as a bonus action rather than an action. I imagine that's probably going to be a personal message. Let's see. Phone does not want me to preview it. So we can probably just deal with that later. Go to the wiki. Check out Fighter. Because I know the first like 3 levels for this are fairly feature rich again, but I don't really need second wind as a damage barbarian. The great weapon fighting is nice, admittedly. Action surge is nice. Superiority dice are nice. I feel like they're better with crit build though. Ironically, considering my one is crit focused. I guess we could multi-class, couldn't we? Question of how high we'd get on each, because obviously at the beginning levels especially we kind of hurt our ability to multi-class, but like, don't get me wrong, that is the holy grail, but like I don't think we're only going to be a level 1 barbarian. At that point we're not much of a wild heart anymore, are we? So probably looking at least 3 levels there, so maybe 6, so that one admittedly is quite good. That one is quite good. I guess what does Barbarian do better for it? Mostly just, yeah, the not dying. And the crits, which you get are for the other crit build anyway. So we probably want at least level 6 here. We don't get our extra attack stacking. So you'd be looking at level 4 here for the feet. Level 8 here. But we're still only level 5, so I think probably just taking the 2 attacks in the meantime is probably going to be better. Then we might dabble with this in the future. Because, yeah, otherwise we won't even have a restart, which is what we're wanting to test around with. So, also the smite, which isn't really going to be as useful here, but whatever. Be able to do dive bomb motherfuckers. And then also dominance by playing our loot on top of them. Alright, let's see. We don't care about that, or 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 that. We do care about that, especially with the 2d6 weapon instead of a crit 1d12 weapon. I think we'll probably like that better. No, 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 no. Meh. Meh. No, 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 no. Meh. Probably better for the paladin. Meh, 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 meh. The crit build. Which again, decent. Might end up going back for that one anyway. No, 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 no. Maybe. But we already have our dive bombing on him. This requires bonus action. Whereas we just dash and then eagle bomb him. No, 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 maybe. So, I think we like the idea of Savage Attack, even though in theory the build for that consistent damage output I think was a fighter instead, just due to having those 3 attacks around. Yeah, I think that's literally what my solo honor mode is. Is for, yeah, Savage Attacker, Great Weapon Master. So basically doing this anyway. So it'll be a question of, honestly, if the Barbarian levels, the Wild Heart effects make up for not having a 3rd attack every round. Because honestly, that's kind of crazy. Hard to say no to on top of the battle maneuvers. On top of the action surge. But yeah, if I'm not doing crits, it's kind of hard to see the value in doing Barbarian TBH if you're not doing crits, and if you're not doing Berserker for throwing. But we'll give it, let's see how she goes. Maybe I'll just get really impressed with Eagle Heart. And now I can finally use all these 2d6 weapons I've literally never touched. So I'll put, okay, well first off you should be swole now. So let's get, oh now that's swole. Dang. Is that enough? I think it's still gonna get angry because of the max you can take in one go thing. Okay, whatever, we'll just do it the other way. Got our barrel and got our bag of throwing stuff. We got our extra bow, which I don't think will be relevant now because Titan string is still very much of use. So we'll throw this stuff. There. I'll throw this stuff because I don't think we care about loose. Yeah, again, if we had a Berserker build, there, throw those there. And then as a non-crit build, I don't think we have very many choices just due to the gear we have right now. We still have our Wrath, which isn't bad. We could do the jumping for free. It's not like we're gonna be... Like, the AC is nice and it synergizes with this in order to actually give us enough AC as opposed to just running heavy armor. But it's definitely worth considering. Let's see, yeah, it's whatever. Defensive. No. Not really relevant. Oh, we forgot to keep that on E. Well, that explains why people didn't want to talk all of a sudden. Oops. Not that I really expect that I'll put the necklace on anybody else either. Come on, let me drag you. Let me drag you. Alright, because we have the blast pennant there and the healing one. The tanking one there. I mean, honestly, just for the utility of it, I think it might be better off just to not have that being used pretty much at all. Especially because these ones aren't very good, as I recall, for actions. Yeah, frighten once a long rest. If I gave it a shovel, that'd be fine, but 2d8 once a long rest. Yeah. Well, also, I guess we don't need that anymore, because we already don't provoke opportunity attacks, unless that's only while raging. Yeah, only while raging, fair enough. And we don't have the free rage, which is to say that we can't really use our eagle art without actually going to the effort of expending those charges and then testing to see if it's good. That's kind of rough. We'll have to see. Self-poisoning is also not a super enticing idea, but it's hard to tell, but we're trying to stick to the theme. We're trying to stick to the theme so hard, game. We're trying so hard. Okay. Well, that also closed that. So we can... Yeah, it's probably better to keep there. Keep that as an extra, because why not? Wisdom saving throws. Shrug, they're going to be stealthy anyway. Oh, that's right, it's for the... Yeah, the crush stuff. Although in theory the only person who'd benefit from is the people who are going to be here at the end, which is namely my one main character, who as a druid I suspect would be firmly anti-parasite to begin with. Just to say, you probably don't need to worry about it. Let's see, proficiency in wisdom, and then he already has proficiency in wisdom as a druid. And as a cleric. So yeah, maybe that doesn't do anything for us either. So cry and put those away. Have our stealth light armor, which isn't any better than that as I recall. So I guess we'll put that away as well. And they have the extra sources of Hunter's Mark. Which is why he's holding on to that. So for other gear, I think that's pretty much it, isn't it? No. Now for weapons, should have a good selection. In fact, we already got 2 in our inventory. Let's see, not really anything else. I mean, heal flail is kind of nice if I want to keep it on. them, but honestly, I mean, for the D6, like, unless you're running a fighter or berserker barbarian, I don't really think you're gonna get much mileage out of that. Nice to have as an option, I guess, technically, but whatever. And then we're not. Oops, and of course it closes in reverse order. I'll do the exact same thing again. This is bleed specific, right? Yeah. Oh, I guess there's another idea. I could have gone with two one-handed weapons and used dual wielding. But I don't think... Yeah, 2d8 versus 2d6, considering how this is going to be taking this is going to be taking a bonus action just to deal 4 more damage. Might be worth considering if I come across some good ones, I guess, but I don't really have any decent options currently, it doesn't feel like. Unless I want to be rude and alternate between Watcher's Guide and Vision of the Absolute, but that's still only 2d6 and still requires the alt. So, I mean, I think if we're going for those jump things anyway, like, it's kind of the obvious answer, especially since, like, that is just that with a poison, or sorry, a dip. Also curious on if Shockwave applies on the Eagle Diving Strike. I don't think it would. I'm sure it doesn't count as a jump, however, could be coded that way. And range is jump range. Oh. That's funny. That's a good point, though. Does not require a jump. Oh, so it could work. I could just BM people by eagle striking them over and over. I like the idea of that. Well, we're getting somewhere to build. Especially because if we equip these, then although we do lose out on AC, we can combine them with that to do our little jump every round, even if we don't have Eagle Heart active. Oh, interesting, that's a toggle. Okay. Even better once we get those magic items that cause thunder damage to also cause prone. Just fucking bully them with her. Well, then we probably don't care about that in favor of having a bunch more AC, because if we had the Gith plate, we would be back up to 17. And if we had... Oh, we got some extras we can sell too. Stealth obviously doesn't matter. It's pretty much the AC. Any benefits, stealth checks don't really matter for us. Yeah, we're not going to be dealing radiant damage too often. Don't really have a lot of medium armor options, at least not until we check the other vendors, but again, we pour. I don't know what you mean, T-Pin. Haven't lost my party at all, dude. This is in fact, if you're sticking around for the entire stream, this is like the third time I've respected just this group. Gotta figure out how to optimize stuff, baby. You see, I'm going thematic now. I'm not going just for... I don't actually know if one of these is the multicolored one. I think I stole Gale's suit. No, I guess not. I'm actually, believe it or not, playing thematically, following an aesthetic for once rather than just going for whatever is like the most delicious power creep. So, you know, learn and grow or something. Yeah, because I don't want to lose AC in the hopes of not getting hit for the sake of getting one wrath. So until I can come across better armor, I think that might be it. In theory, could use medium armor master to actually squeeze out another AC out of it. Or have put it back in a con, I suppose. Probably fine where it is for now anyway. We got some more movement, because why not? Oh, in fact, this also forces disadvantage. So we have 3 different sources of forcing disadvantage on opportunity attacks right now. But again, until such a time as I get other gear. Shove all that stuff there. It's all looking pretty good so far. Looking pretty good. Anything else here I'm missing? Nope. Anything else here I'm missing? Nope. I don't think any of these goobers have anything else important. Oh, that's where Gale's thing is. So me, we're gonna give you green clothing, buddy. Oh, look at that. What's Gale got? Let me put his purple robe back on. Very wizardy. He doesn't eat that. Oh, that's right, he can eat that, right? That's why I give it to him. So you go there, you go, oops, not there. There you go. There, although having the option to just pocket cast it whenever is nice, but I can also just do that with a spell slot. Well, this doesn't take a spell slot, so fuck it. And then move the stuff over to where it kind of sort of makes sense. And fish plan. Dress up with you by giving you the green robe. There we go. Now he's looking dashing. Interesting that he already seems to have gloves. I guess maybe they're just bracers as part of the costume. No, I don't mind the open hand look for a wizard. Looking pretty good, my guy. Drip game on point. I don't know why she has a single dagger, but okay. Might be better if we give you the metal gloves. Yeah. And then we could probably give you those. There we go. That is looking good, gang. Looking good. Okay, now we're maybe actually almost ready to play the game. Well, that does make sense. Doesn't make sense as the... oh yeah, DOT, okay. We have that, which is super annoying and blocks our regular jump hotkey. We have... put it there anyway. We have our per turn, the archery stuff. Okay. Not missing anything. Think that we are in
Saddle up.
business.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
My condition likes being ignored as little as I do. I must consume another artifact. Thank you. Listen, I need to speak to you, to all of you. It would be unconscionable of me to... I might just be a... You have to know what I am, and what one might call a wizard prodigy. Such was my skill that it earned me the attention of the mother of magic. She revealed herself to me and she became my teacher. In time, she became... I am. We enjoyed each other's... You see, no matter... I sought to cross her boundaries. Though not, I tried to convince her. We come now to the crux of my... What? What if? I thought. What if, after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess? The answer was to... Here.
You into that you've seen as the dread is as real as the first time. The oppression just as unbearable.
Thankfully, the moment I absorbed the fragment... as long as I absorb traces of the weave from potent enough sources, remains quiet. I will. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep. Be my chance upon a king's collection of magical artifacts around all of this. It must feel like a betrayal. Say the word. That is, you truly are a... I thank you all. I stand now.
Mm-hmm. Also, the whole you don't actually require any more items thing because the devs found out people were way too angsty about throwing all the magic items at you.
Need to find a way forward.
But also would have been a little bit more interesting. I mean, if he was more powerful, like, you don't even really get to see his additional functionality until Act 2, or if you're an origin character. But if he was, like, you know, slightly better, if he was, like, worth doing, then I could see actually having that constant upkeep. But and they're like, nah. Wait a minute, what? Oh, we already used it. Well, that's Weird. Not bugged at all. I didn't even respec you. I don't know why it would. Oh, right, yeah, because we already, silly me, we already have that from the Necromancy of Thay. Teehee. Although again, I am going to have to find another source for when we eventually replace you with Jaheira. Well, I guess we can go back to using that necklace. Never. How exciting for you, Astarion. Okay, we done. I sure fucking hope so. I spent like, this has actually been 2 hours. I just want to do a quick overview. Yeah, hour and a half on it. Now, it doesn't even tell me timestamps. But how long ago was that? Oh yeah, no, I responded to him when he just dipped. You're not here anymore, Ghosty. Got 0 views. Ouch. Guess he just decided to drop and pop. Alright. Or, you know, YouTube's lying to me, which is also definitely in the realm of possibility. Ah, jeez. Okay, let's... I would say use a lot more of these, but again, I'm not a throw character. Unlike Ghosty. So, a little bit harder to rationalize constantly spending a turn doing that as an action rather than, you know, literally anything else. But okay, that should be good for now until I decide to do massive respecking again. Should be okay. So we can, yeah, probably save that. We still got Glut. Don't have Shovel, that's right. Get him next time. Alright, and look down here. Although I do with my character who actually has carry weight. Oh, it pulled. Okay, well, where are you? Probably still up there, which to be fair is where they came from. Also explains why the group was separated into 2 smaller groups. You're supposed to be there. Group is far away. What? Oh. Well, I mean, it doesn't stop. Whatever. Whatever. Correct that when we get down there.
Honk honk.
Same. Funny. I'd see that being sort of inconvenient to not have as a toggle. I also don't want to forget about it though, so... Get the gang back together. Oh, she's still bugged and not pathfinding with the group? Fuck. I don't know what the solution to that is.
Dreaming red.
Once familiar ally, now apparent.
That's gonna be a problem. Quit and reload, okay. That makes sense, we can do that. Main menu. She was, after all, in a wardrobe for pretty much every other prior save after the bug happened. Yeah, more files. Makes sense. How nice of them to make a ad for up in the community, especially when it's not selling service or charging people like I assume. No, it's just following. Yes! Beautiful, thank you, Bartholomew. Unless we just go this way first, because that way loops back, doesn't it? Not with the power jumping, it sure does. I'll go to a happy little chaps in their best life. Even if it happens to include some atrocities for the sake of their god. Happens to the best of us. Well, I guess technically we could also stand to put you down there, even though I don't expect I'll be using it a whole lot. I.e. ever, without just using the dynamic tip, but who knows. Fish brown then checks out.
That might be worth a look.
Yeah. Wow. No, I don't want the bucket, thank you. And this again. It's worth money is what it is now. There you go, Lorax. Nice little book about your uncontrollable impulses for incredible violence. Don't even think we can return that to Donnie, but we'll give it a go.
Yoink!
I thought there was a bird chest here, but maybe it's just that one. Let's find it.
Nothing. Nothing interesting buried here.
Alright.
Nothing.
Taking it at face value, Karlak. Better not be jipping me on them. I say as if I'm for a lack of it. Aha! Well done. Keep forgetting you can't go on this. So we gotta get our wisdom character here too, so we can actually find stuff. Even though I'm pretty sure still
Very well.
summons still probably aren't gonna listen. But yeah, I do. Let's see, survival and perception. Because I don't think Astarion has, yeah. And then neither would you. Yeah, did it just fix that? It did, aha, see? I'm not losing my mind. Good. Well, not in that regard, at least. Oh, yum yum. I like money. No, don't put it below, you silly. I think Glut needs to learn a thing or two about chilling out. Okay. I wasn't gonna do it, but then I just decided, what am I doing? Don't think that breaks anything important. Oh, it did. Yeah, shame.
Hot foot, hot foot. Place is trapped.
Well. No, that's right. Alright, Blatt, your time to shine, buddy. I mean, you wouldn't hurt our friendos in the process, would you?
Can't give up now. If not over, then through.
No. You just told me you could. Darn it, bully.
What a charmer. La la la.
Oh, it still does the same thing for every jump, okay. Yeah, get that healing, buddy. Or not, that works too. You know, whatever is convenient for you, I guess. Wow, that's not inconvenient in the slightest. I guess technically you are undead. I suppose it kind of makes sense. No, well, shit. Works. What do you mean, no? Why do you say you can't cast spells? So I'll just go for Yeet instead.
Oh, I could go for a good meal.
So yeah, then you're gonna be silly and grouped
Let's
along,
go.
so let's move on to that.
Da da da. What's cooking?
There we go.
Up to.
And we can send that to you to deal with. That in there, that in there. Question why they're not following me
How
anymore.
many died today?
No, don't tell me that the other character is blessed in that.
Toast,
Oh,
toast.
they just seem to be confused on which way I went. That would be less problematic. Not necessarily not a problem. Oh, likewise with it not actually digging. Okay, game, you're not.
Let's march.
This is concerning me quite a bit. Bro, what the hell? You know, I'm not so sure it fixed all the bugs. And, how did that restart? Okay, you know what? We're gonna just have to do things the lame way again, I think. Well, let's see if it decides to play nice. Save me that. They're asking why, though. So we cut out that first step. We're more or less happy with that setup. Maybe for the time being, only having 2 or 3 in specs is going to be kind of rough. We'll see. At least I have the Rogue plus Ranger, so I might be able to do okay.
Hey!
Okay, well that's promising.
Nice. Okay.
And everybody other than Bartholomew seems to be moving again. Great. Oh, does damage things. Okay. Oh, sorry, buddy. That was... well, shit's fucked anyway. Ugh. Guess we're doing an impromptu duel. So that guy needs to die first, methinks.
Still on my feet.
Or does he lose all his stuff if all of them die, I guess? Oh, well, let's... yeah, maybe... that's the question, is what can these guys even do? Like, can they even really hurt me? No, the bleeding is gonna suck, yeah. Well, they should be easy enough to deal with. Would have been a lot better if I planned for this, but
What's this?
Whatever. Oh, we're not gonna bother raging for this. Oh fuck! I saw the torch out. Damn it. Okay, well, awkward.
Come on.
Awkward.
Can't stay idle.
And I'm in the magic field. This could be one better.
No choice but to keep going.
Okay, let's get you to drop your stuff. Not very well, no. What would be good AoE option? I don't want to use my last tier 2 spell slot because it just put me in this dumb battle. Alright, let's see how it goes. That'll do. That did not do. Oh boy. Boy.
This is good.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Glut can just one-hit motherfucker if they get prone, so
Let's cook with fire, baby.
that'll kind of do. Damn it! Me having the torch out. Ah! Didn't start this fight though. Okay, let's see. You know, I probably wouldn't get it if I didn't have boy following me in the middle of all these guys. I could use another arrow.
Bye forever, pal.
What do you got? Are these guys permanently wet as well? No, but they're standing in water. Unfortunately, so is maybe the bullet? Oh, I can't move. I'm sure he can deal with it. Shoot one of these bad boys. Okay, I meant, like, ideally, literally more than just one. Wow, they're like perfectly spaced for me not hit all four of them. Well, I guess 2 at a time I'll have to do. Interesting, this is considered. Well, I guess it isn't literally a magic attack, yeah. How did you, oh I see, succeed. Alright, oh. Maybe time for one of those. Already partially through a rest cycle. Maybe not. Just damage to the lies because I have the strength mod. So that's just +3 to the roll. Yeah. So 8 to 15, not looking good unless we use another arrow. But these guys are already electrified, so I'm gonna go with my bonus action. Oh, that's a good idea. Alrighty.
I've got it.
This is some fun.
We do need to save the board, don't we?
Time to kill.
Ah, I shot Hunter's weapon first for the bonus damage. Would have only been against one, but you know, still.
Another fight. Let's go.
Hunters go first, that makes sense. Well, I'm kind of already committed this way, aren't we? Don't want to replace the water on the ground now. I guess no, it's probably going to be pretty decent. No, damn, that's not a good chance. Probably the same, yeah. Let's save. Spawn save. Yeah. He's blinded. Oh, I see. He automatically gets bloodlust. Even while blinded, dude, you sure you saw that? I don't know about all that. Your range is like nothing, dude. creature, dude. I see it saying if it kills a creature while it's active, I guess.
Blood comes easy these days.
Go for the throat. Time to move.
No, what? Oh my fucking god. Thanks, Kim. Cool. Yeah, we're just gonna... I'm just gonna be big fucking quitters. Especially with that shit being... all that shit being all that shit. Cool. So we are going to just live up to the dishonor mode title. And task so it doesn't save that garbage. And then we're gonna repair files and hopefully... when we get back, our characters will actually be able to be grouped properly, and we won't have to deal with the bullshit of the bullet triggering all that combat for no discernible reason. Druid playthrough, man. We're supposed to be peaceful motherfuckers. That's really... I see, because they lied. Got it. You can have another stream where we actually, I don't know, accomplish